Hey scrappers, Tom here, creator of the iScrap app and also a scrapyard owner. In the next few videos, you're going to see all types of market recaps for 2023, as well as future predictions and things to just think about in 2024. Now, if you haven't downloaded the app, please download it today so you can report your prices, so you can check prices that are out there, learn about material, get notifications when we have market news, weekly reports, and other type of information that's going to help you make more money with your scrap. So without further ado, let's jump into some of the different metals and the different categories that we're going to talk about for 2024. So scrappers, here we are. We've talked about lots of different metals throughout 2023, and of course everyone loves talking about ferrous, whether it's plate and structural, light iron, shred, or just general steel. So let's jump right into these things. Again, theme of the videos: interest rates, presidential elections, oil prices. Now, many people forget that in the first half of 2023, China finally stopped its zero COVID restriction policy. That gave a quick shot of adrenaline to the steel markets, and we saw those markets increasing. That's a positive sign. Then the middle 6 months of the year happened, markets really petered themselves out, and it wasn't until the second half of the third quarter and the fourth quarter of 2023 where we really started to see these prices increasing to a level that makes sense to talk out loud about. Now, oil prices have decreased. That has helped the steel prices, but we haven't seen large amounts of growth. We saw a railroad worker strike this year. That hurt the steel markets. We saw a large auto worker strike this year. That hurt the steel markets. We saw interest rates going to 17-year highs, which means it's more expensive to borrow money. So if you're buying a new car, a new truck, putting up a new commercial building or a large property, whatever it may be, if you wanted to borrow money, it was going to cost twice what it was a couple of years ago. That hurt the steel markets. Now, that being said, steel continues to be a worldwide commodity that is needed. We can't get rid of steel. It's in the cameras that we're filming, it's in watches that we wear, cars that we drive, buildings that we sit in, airplanes that we fly. So the good news is that steel isn't going anywhere, but the demand for steel is going to continue to wane going into 2024, in my opinion. While interest rates are slated to start to come down, construction demand has not increased on the commercial side. We see a lot of residential constructions. I'm seeing condo buildings, apartment buildings going up all over the country wherever I'm traveling to. So I know the residential side is being covered. But the manufacturing, the commercial investments, not happening at the rates that we want to see. Why is that important? That's where the steel consumption is. You know, people are not buying new cars as quickly as they were because it's more expensive to buy a new car, so maybe they milk their used cars longer. Maybe people aren't building new buildings, but they're rehabbing their old ones, meaning the infrastructure continues to stay there. Now, many people have pointed out that the government made this big infrastructure bill, but that was never meant to just produce millions of tons of steel. That infrastructure could be for high-speed wireless, that could be for internet, that could be for phones, for 5G, that could be rerunning old lines of communication or power to rural parts of the country. So that didn't push the needle. Interest rates high, oil prices are still higher, right? Now they came down in the fourth quarter, which is nice, but we still have this presidential election looming the end of 2024, and that will be the primary topic that everyone's talking about leading up to that, through the debates, through commentary, through worldwide networks, through global growth. These are the things that we're going to look for. You know, in 2023, we saw a small 1% increase in steel. That's not a lot. You know, we try to have about a 2 to 4% US growth every year, and 1% just won't cut it if we're looking at demand and pricing. What do we need? a 4 to 6% worldwide growth or United States growth to help push those prices up, because then the domestic mills, whether they're making cars or I-beams, they need more feed in, they need more steel. And until we start to see that global growth, US growth, whatever, 4% or above, we're just not going to see that large demand on steel the way that we want to see it reflected in the scrap prices. But that being said, steel continues to be one of the items that I sell as quickly as I get it, and I continue to advise that for scrappers. Many of you are posting your prices in the iScrap app for light iron, unprepared, rotors, etc., and you should. Check those prices out, report those prices, see what other people are getting in different parts of the country, listen to our weekly reports on what's going on, and that's gonna help push you into a smarter level, into a more knowledgeable scrapper on how you sell materials. And these growths, these prices, whether high energy prices, cheaper steel, cheaper energy prices, steel starts to go up. You can start to see the correlations of these things when you pay attention a little more closely. So 2023, I would say, if you were going to ask me, was it a good or a bad year for steel? It was 3/4 of a bad year with an uplift going into 2024. So if I'm gonna have it anyway, that's a pretty good way to have it. So I'm optimistic the steel prices will remain where they are going into 2024, scrappers. Check out our other recap videos. Let us know what you think, and I'll scrap you later.